Welcome to High Africa.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah.
Cool. Now, so I'm so excited to have you here for so many reasons. But let me do the intro first. So today's topic is going to be about looking at beyond funding and building Africa's first wave of unicorns. Talking to Vincent. Vincent is a guru in this space, I would say, because of a number of reasons that I'm going to give you. So let me do the intro. So at High Africa, we don't just talk about startups, we talk about scale, impact, and what it takes to build global businesses from the African soil. Vincent is one of the few people who has built founders, negotiated with funders, and shaped policy from the inside. This episode is a blueprint for any African startup that refuses to stay small. And emphasis on this. Yep. I want to talk to you about this whole thing about being unicorn, of companies turning into unicorn, because I am angry by the status quo. So anyway, Vincent is a seasoned ecosystem builder. I think you have always loved this word.
Yeah. That's what I do. Yeah,
ecosystem builder. Yeah. So Vincent is a seasoned ecosystem builder, startup advisor, and innovation strategist with deep roots in Southern Africa's tech transformation, from leading Malawi's first innovation hub, mHub, to co-founding the Southern Africa Venture Partnership, to advising governments through Tony Blair Institute and other portfolios. Vincent has shaped the foundation of entrepreneurship and digital change across the region. Is that a good introduction for you?
I'm even asking myself, is this me? Yeah, I know. I've been around for some time, I think. Yes, we've done things, still doing things. Yeah. Yes, I think some of the things that you've said lead a true reflection of what we've been doing the last 15 to 20 years.
Yeah. And you should know that things that you used to talk to me years ago before I even understand what they mean, I understood them later on. I remember there was a time you were talking about like a policy hackathon.
Yes.
I
remember those days.
About this before it was even popular.
Yeah.
Like sandboxes and all these things. This was your discussion early in the days.
Yeah. 2014, 2013.
Before it was a thing.
Yeah, I know. I think we were young. I should start like that. We were young, enthusiastic, passionate, grabbing everything that was coming our way. Yeah. And we thought things would just change like that. People just get excited. I know. I remember pitching to a lot of companies, the corporate world, pitching to ministries. I think very early stages with these ideas that we had that time, and it didn't make sense then to people. Sometimes people don't even understand what we're talking about. Yeah. But now, I think a few years down the line, you're right in saying that people are now realizing some of the things that we were talking about then, now that they're able to see some of the things that are happening at this stage. Yeah.
For me, you were ahead of time. You've always been. I don't know how.
I don't know. Maybe we're exposed a bit early. And I think we're also not we're willing to learn. Yeah. I remember, I think, when I interviewed for the role at mHub, in 2014, the interviewers were even surprised that I knew about innovation hubs that time, because I had interviewed a number of people before. But they're like, okay, this is someone who knows about the concept and seems like he's able to explain the concept very well. So yes, I think that time we were exposed and we were able to learn a lot of things. Yeah.
That time, even the concept of a hub was not popular. And I think mHub, through your work there and the guidance of Rachel and the team there, you made it popular. You made it something that I think at this point you'd find hubs in different places.
Yeah. I remember, I think we were making reference to iHub in Kenya, probably the mother hub in Africa.
Yeah.
I had also, even before coming through mHub, I had also made contact with the Bongo Hive in Zambia. And then we also had active spaces in Cameroon. I think in Kenya we also had Nairab, and we had Buni Hub in Tanzania. So very early stages, I think 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
So mHub then was like the first to set up mirroring on all those things. So our learning journey was mirroring on those early stage hubs in Africa.
Yeah.
But now it's everywhere, I think.
Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, don't we even have a hub here? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I always remember, and I always start with these personal stories because it helps me and it helps people as well that are watching this episode to understand of maybe where we're coming from. The time that we connected was the time that I was in Nzuzu.
Yes.
I had my office, I had a company, and you had a project with UNICEF.
Yeah.
And you used my office as more or less like a venue.
Yeah, Kentamo. I remember that. Yeah.
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 At that time I felt like I was on top of the world. I felt like I was the greatest innovator of Malawi.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, thank you for that. I've always put that activity in my CV. Of course, right now I removed it.
Yeah. I think there've been great achievements. Beyond that. Yeah.
Beyond that. But thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for choosing to. You could have chosen to go to a hotel.
No. But by then, I think the history was that we did not have Mzuzu eHub then.
Yes.
And we did not have minded entities in Mzuzu. So some people recommended Talented then. And when we checked out, we found that we were matching. I think it was easy for us to come to Mzuzu and operate from your space. And from then on, I think it just became like something else. We would collaborate on a lot of things, and eventually you came here. So.
Yeah, the connection is good. And I wanted to emphasize my appreciation to what you did, because what you did that time, in the space there was not so much collaboration.
Yeah.
And spaces like those, people wouldn't even believe in young people setting up a shop like that, like a startup, working. And that time we were doing a lot of trainings. Right.
Yeah.
You came through that time, and then you also gave me space here when I came here to do my trainings within mHub, and you gave that space for free, right?
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, what you did by coming through was more or less like validation to me that time, to say, okay, fine, I think there is like a network of people that also believes in this setup, believe in this activity that we're doing, which is sometimes what is lacking when you go up, because you don't see kids that are starting up and you don't even give them like a voice, like a listening ear to be like, okay, fine, what are you doing? I can just be there listening to you and helping you. But you guys were just doing that, and that was amazing.
Actually, that's supposed to be the core of a hub. But by then, I think my position was a community manager.
Yeah, you connected.
So I really learned to build a community. So my task was very simple: build a community of innovators, build a community of sponsors, like donors, development partners, build a community of companies. So I literally I would be, even at a funeral, I should be the person who is smiling. Everyone else is thinking about something else, but I should be someone who can be approached, someone who people can talk to, people can believe in, and all that. So I think that's what is a very core function of a hub. You should not just be conveners of conversations, but you should be able to provide that kind of validation, back office support. I can't even remember how many reference letters I've written for people, recommendations that I've written for people for scholarships, just by being there. And then, the payoff for this, I'm also being built. I'm benefiting from that network. I've built a very huge network now. I go into offices, people tell me that we met you at mHub, we met you at this place and all that. And sometimes people also give me opportunities in that. So I'm benefiting from a network that we've been building the last 15 or so years in Malawi. Yeah.
No, you did well, and you've built a good network. I think even the new hubs that are here, those hub, Blanta Hub, I'm not sure if it's too active, Synergy, and the rest of those popular ones. Are coming from this space, of this kind of collaboration that came through. And through what you guys did, you have built like a new wave of resources that came through to Malawi.
Yeah.
Because all these projects that came through, like the Digital Malawi and the rest of resources that came through for startups, came because of how you activated the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of work that you have to be proud to have kickstarted.
Thank you. That's why I transitioned now to, instead of being the Vincent of mHub, I should be more the Vincent of the ecosystem. That everyone, I should be a resource that everyone can be able to tap from, whether you're a founder, a startup just emerging, a hub we want to set up and all that. We can always have a conversation and guide each other on how to do it because of the experience. The challenges that we faced, I think it's not proper that people should face similar challenges that we faced very early on. Where we found success, we should be able to share what success looks like. My networks, everyone's networks. I can always link you up with anyone within the ecosystem, in the content, even beyond.
Yeah. That's good, man. Appreciate for that. I wanted to make sure that it becomes the center of or the starting point of our conversation.
Good.
Because I know how important you are to Malawi. And I think people are realizing now. That's why every time I go to these events, I find you moderating. I'm like, people have not known Vincent. We have known Vincent.
I've scaled down though.
You have scaled down on those activities, right?
Yeah. More private now than public. Yeah.
More private.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, whatever you want to do, but you have done some commendable job that you can always look back to and say, we built this ecosystem. Yeah. We laid the foundation, and that's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, let's jump into it. One of the big problems I have, I don't know whether I should call it big, but one of the problems that I have is I don't like being small.
Interesting.
I don't like being small. And if you look at even my professional career, you see I've moved.
Yeah. I know.
You're my referee.
I've been
just
part
to
of
make
that.
it clear. He's my referee on the CV.
Yes, I know.
So you know whatever that I do.
Yeah, I know very well. Yeah.
So I don't like being small. And I think that spirit has led me to try things, fail, learn, but also be the person that I am.
Yep.
So I share that through this High Africa podcast as part of the thinking that should be part of what the new wave of developers, the new wave of people that are building startups should also have. Yeah. Because I think we have been small for a long time. Yeah. And being small has not helped us in any way. So my starting point of this conversation is around your honest truth. I want to get that. Why aren't we scaling in Africa? And for me, I'll be honest with you. Whatever success that we talk about, even the biggest companies we have in Africa that maybe are talking, the companies raised and whatever, most of them, maybe there's now a white founder there, some activities happening, they were acquired. It's not like this was just generic from the content. Why are we not scaling as Africans when it comes to startup?
I'll answer that in multiple ways. I think first of all are we using the right metrics to measure our scale? I heard you talk about unicorn. Unicorn is Silicon Valley
term.
A term and all that, which in a sense looks at more $1 billion US valuation over impact in some areas. Actually, there are more companies out there that you see, even emerging startups, that are making more with $50,000 US, more impact, but they're not measured as unicorns in that regard because maybe we've emphasized more on the financial valuations than impact valuations. So there is an element of whether we are measuring using the right metrics. I'll not dwell on that. Okay. But
that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
But I'll let's take it as if we are small according to the metrics that are there. I think the biggest issue that I've seen, we are underbuilding in some areas of. I think we've focused more on the storytelling rather than traction. So we're moving a lot around. There are a lot of ideas that are coming up. So people are pushing more to kind of impress panels rather than users. So there are a lot of businesses that start up, and then it's normal for some businesses to fail. even startups to grow, to grow. Some will fail and all that. That's normal. But then we're chasing a lot of clout over like substantial things. So even this is even a problem with us, even an ecosystem like Malawi. You'd see that when we were pushing things, we failed to build like proper structures where after pitching, these guys would go and get like properly support, like structured support. So people are struggling with structures and then practical things. If we focus more on money, I know. I think there's a lot of investments that are happening and a lot of supporters that are supporting different players and all that. And they are, sometimes you find the same company. You receive a grant today. You've won $50,000. The next year you come again for another pitch competition. The same company. 3 years down the line, you're coming again. For me these days, I'm chasing some of those companies. So I saw you 5 years ago pitching the same idea. What happened to the last money that you got? What happened to the idea that you had? Where are you now? I'm not shortlisting you for this because by now you should have built a proper governance system, a proper product, put it on the market, test the market, and then push for scale, and then find ways of now generating actual revenue at the same time. And then number two is we are also starting on a very long foot, especially in I think this part of Africa, like Malawi and other countries, where a lot of our support is coming from development partners. Which is good, yes, but we are literally looking more on the impact side, like the social impact side, which is also good, rather than the commercial aspects of things. So that these startups, before they start even generating actual impact, they need to have a sustainable business model. So sometimes we don't spend much time on the sustainable business model part. We're just excited about the idea even before looking at whether it's viable or what. So eventually we are pushing more on visibility versus viability.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a PowerPoint. Visibility versus viability.
Yeah.
I've wondered. I've wondered of some of the projects that have been sponsored, that have been funded.
Yeah.
In most of the maybe accelerators and everything.
Yes.
And I've wondered why they were funded if I would compare them with the reality of that product and the ground where they want to push the product.
Yeah.
And when they have failed, they are always looking at their marketing. Yeah. And not saying that, was this viable anyway?
There are good products coming out of accelerators. Yes, I've seen.
Yeah.
I've kind of worked with a number of accelerator programs and designed even like investment programs and all that. But you find that sometimes we are excited by the idea itself, what the idea can do. And sometimes you even get pressure from the funders. Get this one, because they heard the idea, it sounds good in the ears, but you do not have time to look at the viability and even the capacity of the people to deliver on that idea. Yeah. So a lot of ideas are dying in that way because now the reality comes in. You pump in money and then you find out that you need more power. You need more computing power. Yep. You need more infrastructure. Yep. You need more human capital, or you need like something that we can not be able to produce here in Malawi. We cannot scale to that level. And then what do? You become a motivator and talk about how I build a business and all that. But there are realities that people are struggling with at the moment to say that the idea looks good on paper, but they've not gone through like proper structures. Maybe from proper incubation, you validate, you do like a proper market test, you look at your business model, you look at how you can be able to get like proper infrastructure, where is the market, who is going to buy, and all those things. And then eventually you launch and you go out there and start selling your product and all that. Very few products are really surviving on revenue coming from the users.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's one of my big problems.
Yeah.
That revenue, profit of startups based on the sales, and then you are seeing that, okay, we're making money, profits are happening, people can get bonus within the organization. That is not the conversation in most of the African countries. It's more of getting resource from donor A through this accelerator.
Yeah.
You use that as a runway, then donor B, runway.
Yeah.
When there are no donors, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's one way.
Yeah.
I don't want you to draw there,
Yeah.
but I want to give you a theory.
Yeah.
I have a theory, and I want to ask you. Maybe that theory is not strong. If these answers will go a different way. When someone has gotten money from these accelerators, are they allowed to pay themselves from the money?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
It depends.
But in most of them that you have seen,
Yeah.
are you allowed to take that money? Let's say you've gotten like a 60,000 or 70 for you to push your product at whatever level.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say you have gotten 70, take
Yeah.
20, and use that as a salary for people, or 50 is going to go to product development?
I'll give you examples. I think one of my favorite is we ran a certain competition at some point, and someone won about, I think, 20 or 30 million Malawi kwacha. And then they went on a holiday trip from the money. Bought themselves laptops and phones.
Wow.
and all that. Of course, it was an anomaly. It was not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
But it depends with the conditions of the grant. There's some unlimited funds that you get, and then you can do whatever you want to do. My favorite approach is to agree on milestones.
Yeah.
Most of the programs that I've designed, you agree on milestones. I should be able to deliver a product X by this period.
Yeah.
Or I should be able to grow from 10 users to 200 users.
Yeah.
From this to this level, like period. And to do that, I would need to invest in these things and all that.
Yeah.
If it includes human capital in there, then you can also budget for human capital, which includes your time and the other people around you.
Time, yeah.
But to me, I think it's very, very clear and very important that you should have like specific milestones that you give on this and be able to follow through on that. I think there are very strict programs that I've seen, and people have even been dropped on the program because they're not able to deliver on a milestone.
Yeah.
But sometimes the milestones are way beyond their maybe control.
Yeah.
I've seen people projections. I think one of my favorite cases was someone bought machinery, but they did not know that the machinery would require a huge building. They had built a very small building. When the machinery came, we had to wait. We had to put the machinery on a shed for a very long time, waiting for a building to be built and a new budget. And then there's another case where somebody bought machinery and they needed, they didn't know that they need 3-phase electricity. And then they started the whole process, and we had to wait for a long period to make sure that electricity comes and they were able to connect. So there are those cases. Sometimes to impress the panel, you make projections that are not really realistic, but now it's the duty of the people running the accelerator to sit down with you point by point and start giving you advice that guides you to adjust your imagination. You know, sometimes innovators and startups, they think
limited.
They're
the
limited,
product and
but
not the.
But sometimes they're also very, very ambitious. They think they build a product today and the whole world is going to shake.
Yep.
And when you tell them, sit down, listen to me, this is how things are supposed to be done. My favorite, one of my favorite startup stories was someone developed an e-commerce app.
Yeah.
And went to pitch.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Several times.
They went to pitch to one of the big supermarkets here.
Yeah.
And the guy told them that I make 10 million Malawi kwacha per day.
Yeah.
How much will this app add on top of that? Will it increase the 10 million kwacha?
That's a good one.
Or is it going to add on top of the 10 million kwacha? So what value are you adding on top of the 10 million that I make every day on this shop?
Yeah.
the guy failed to answer. He had not done his research and all that. So it's like, if you don't add value to my work, then I don't need you.
I don't need that.
I can even develop the technology myself just for fun to make sure that I just add a fancy app on my store. So there are those things that when you sit down and then start telling them this is how things are supposed to be done. Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. So let me go back to my theory.
Yeah.
I still want to drive that theory.
Yeah.
My theory is Africans are innovative people.
Yes. Very.
Because for me, innovation comes from struggle.
Yeah.
And struggle inspires you
Yeah.
to start thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And that thought process gives birth products.
Yeah. And on that, I know before interrupting your theory, some of the problems that we are solving in Africa are a matter of life and death.
Yes.
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 Food security, health, education. So there are solutions that if people don't have them, they will die.
People will die.
Yeah. So there are those things.
Yeah.
They're not fancy, just
Not
fancy.
fancy. Yeah, not fancy.
Yeah, so I agree with you.
It's not like, self-driving and whatever, cars and maybe robots that will be saving you some flies.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Yeah.
We're dealing with these kind of things.
Yeah.
We naturally,
Yeah.
if there was no technology or anything, what are we going to be doing? The natural obligation is we farm, we till our land, we become naturally farmers, or we create something and we sell for us to survive.
Yeah.
In the space of that, education came through, and education, the early education, took us out of this natural survival mode to learn so that you can be employable. So when you're employable, what happens is you earn like an amount, and that amount gives you a bit of basis.
Yeah.
Now, when you are getting the money, you're able to pay for rent, you're able to do a couple of things, get married, and then you continue with life like that.
Yeah.
And in the process of that, entrepreneurship education came through.
Yeah.
And then has been telling people that you can also create a job.
Yeah.
Ideally, everyone has been working hard to work for a corporation that is coming from outside.
Yeah.
Or maybe corporations of people that built the industries, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I can create a job. By creating a job, it means that the lie that is sold is like you will be free.
Yeah.
Which is not true. Because been in startups and you're no longer free.
Yeah.
Today I slept around 2 a.m.
Oh. Yeah.
because building something. But
Yeah.
that has come through in the space, and people started thinking, right now I have to build something so that I can be free.
Yeah.
Then in the process, I think something that really messed up us is that in the moment of doing that, of trying to be free, you are forgetting survival, which is why you're working in the first place. So you start working here, and in most cases, because most of the resources that we get through these accelerators and the like, they're conditioned, it means you can hardly pay yourself, so you don't survive. So what do? You spend time going back to the natural setup of either doing some business that will give you money for you to survive while you're working on your idea, or working for a corporation so that you have money to survive while you're working on your idea. In most cases, time that you spend on working on other corporations is more than the time that you spend on building what you're supposed to build.
Yeah.
And in the process, corporations that you serve are always becoming bigger because they get value out of you through the time. Well, whatever that you're trying to build goes down. So my theory is African startups are robbed of time because we do not have a proper channel of survival. So because we don't have that proper channel of survival, we are in a process of trying to build something with the little time that we have, while our survival is still based on building corporations. And in that way, in my view, we can never get to a bigger space because our input is always like it follows with the output that comes through. And the output is that we build small because our investment of time and concentration is
Yeah.
also small.
Yeah.
Counter argue that theory.
There are some countries that have understood what you're talking about, and they have started kind of creating a conducive environment for entrepreneurship, taking into consideration all those challenges that an average entrepreneur would meet.
Yeah.
Because most of the countries do not understand the enabling environment for entrepreneurs to thrive. I'll give you an example. There's a Startup Act, should be Startup Act in Tunisia, which allows someone to leave their job, try entrepreneurship. They're not fired. You leave your job, you try
Very
entrepreneurship.
important thing.
You leave entrepreneurship, you leave your job, you go try a business. After a period, you've seen that it's not working out. You can go back to your job. You still find your place at that. So the idea is that they are trying to give entrepreneurs freedom, and there are other conditions attached to such. That helps entrepreneurs to survive and thrive in the space. So the problem is most of us start businesses or even entrepreneurship out of necessity. We don't have time to learn how to run a business. We don't have time to understand what goes into the business. There are a lot of things that people don't do well in terms of governance, policies, structures, even just to understand the taxation system, the regulatory systems, and all those things. And then before you know it, you are surprised a revenue authority is coming to your door to ask for tax. What is this? You do not even plan in your business that there will be an element that I'm going to give to the revenue authority. There'll be an element that I'll pay for certification. There'll be an element that I'll give to pension, payee, and all those things. So people don't think about those things in essence. So it's a shared blame. It's both the entrepreneur and also the people responsible for creating an enabling environment for entrepreneurship. But countries that have mastered this and started being very intentional in creating like ecosystems, that's where you see like entrepreneurs thriving. There's what is called the African Triangle. Lagos, Nairobi, Cape Town. They are very intentional in terms of making sure that they are creating quality entrepreneurs, but also attracting the right funding, the right supporters of the ecosystems and others. I know some of them are bubbles that they are going to
burst
at some point. But the reality is, if you create a conducive environment for entrepreneurship to thrive, you are most likely to get businesses that will thrive from there and start paying off, not just for the founders, but even for more people around them, and even the communities around those. So I think that's where people need to be very, very strategic and very, very intentional.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you see, I'm saying this because I watch how the Silicon Valley space is protected by the US.
Yeah.
I watch now how Donald Trump is safeguarding innovators within the country by making sure that some deals only happen within the country. By ensuring that production of some material like chips have to be regulated and protected for the market that they are serving. I have heard of ecosystems where if you have a product and it's valued properly, you're able to use that valuation to get resources to build. Even IP, like intellectual property.
Even IP, if I can have something that is very unique, I can go to a particular bank and say that this is my patent, and they can give me a loan based on that. It's also possible in other countries.
And that's the ecosystem investment, which is important, which I think is missing. So in my theory, in conclusion, until a person like me who builds on the side, but I'm also serving a corporation, which is okay. I'm enjoying that. It's not like I don't enjoy it. Until I have time fully dedicated to say 24/7, I'm thinking about this product. I'm learning about my customer. I'm learning the dynamics of this space. I'm learning through the activities of other countries, and I'm building this product. Until that time comes,
Yeah.
I think we're always shooting very like a short distance,
Yeah.
because we are not already investing so much time that will essentially result into success.
Yeah.
There was an explanation, which of course is not related to this, but I was watching something. There's someone who's doing a press, a presentation at Luan. I don't know if you saw that one. The guy was talking about time.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Malawians, we are very good at, we relax.
Yeah.
We're not time bound.
Yeah.
And because of that, our success rate is just minor.
Yeah.
Unlike countries where everyone is busy and everything's boxed to time.
Yeah.
And because of that, I also argue that
Yeah.
because our time is just everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm building a product and I take like 10 years. You know me, I've been building one of these products that I've been building for years.
Yeah, I know.
And up to now,
Yeah.
I haven't launched. And you're like, how are you going to be successful?
Yeah. There's a book actually written by Greg Mills, I think. Check it online. It should be Greg Mills.
Yeah.
A Walking Nation. It talks about Malawi. And you find Malawians moving on the road, going nowhere. They just walk around.
It's chilling.
So he's written a book and talked about some of these things. About Malawi. I think check it online. Should be a Walking Nation by Greg Mills. So it's right. I think a lot of people don't necessarily have like productive use of their time. That's a story of another day. I think another podcast. But what I want to agree with your theory is that both the entrepreneurs and the ecosystem. So by ecosystem, I'm not only pointing at government. Ecosystem consists of a lot of players: the universities, the media,
Private
the
sector.
development partners, private sector, incubators and hubs, regulatory entities, government, and different policy people in all that they make like an ecosystem. Once these agree and start creating a conducive environment for an average entrepreneur, these entrepreneurs produce results. I think they are very. I know. Africa is small and we're not scaling as much, but they are very brilliant stories. You read stories of Shola and team at Paystack in Nigeria. You read stories of I think there's Fernandez in I think he runs Nala or something in Tanzania. I think people like Njava in Zambia. I think he's in Kenya now. He's been running Canteen. There are very good stories coming out. I've just been invited to Tanzania. My very good friend Jumani Tambalike. He's celebrating 10 years of Sahara Ventures. He's been building businesses in Tanzania. So they're celebrating 10 years. And he's like, you know what? We've been running around together in Africa for this thing. Come and join us celebrating 10 years in South Africa. So in Tanzania. So there are very good stories coming out in some of these, but they are sporadic. And of late, they have also been shifting towards where I started in the first place. People are rating how big a company or how influential a company is based on how much they've raised.
Yes.
But we've seen that money is not everything. I've seen companies that have been folding, even in Africa, having raised millions and millions of dollars because they don't have a product. Maybe the product it was just a hype, and maybe they don't have the right team and all that. So I know the Silicon Valley model focuses more on the VC type, how much you are raising and all those things. But there's for us, we need to start looking at a brand. That's why there's a talk these days now that can we raise more African investors to invest in these businesses because they understand the terrain, they understand the context, they understand the problems that we're facing and the problems that we are trying to solve and the solutions that are there. So yes, I think once we start putting that together, we should be able to see a lot more stories coming out from the missing countries like, I think, Malawi. That's where Malawi. I think we started now the Southern African Venture Partnership. I see you're interested in that.
Because I've always wondered why that came through. My thinking is because of Southern Africa is rarely mentioned in this whole discussion of raising money or anything. it's even difficult.
Yeah.
For you just even to find a founder.
Yeah.
People, what we find in this part of the world is a loan shark.
Yeah.
Who's gonna give you
literally for 40%, 45%, interest.
Yeah, and they don't care whether you have your product has done anything, and they just need their money, and they can get you arrested.
So it was that. I think the idea of Southern African Venture Partnership was between 3 countries.
Yeah.
Malawi, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. Of course, coming from Nyasaland and Southern and Northern Rhodesia. But we partnered with so myself, Takunda Chingozo from Tech Village in Zimbabwe, and Simunza in Bongo Hive in Zambia. We set up this, and we were supported by CAD from the US. So the idea was that we should create these 3 countries as one market, as one block. Beyond just raising funding, but we should be able to have startups move from one country to another. So if someone is building in Zambia, they want to come to Malawi. Before they even step foot in Malawi, they should be able to know about the regulatory space in Malawi, who are the players, where can I get space to operate from, and all that. And we make it very easy for them to enter into Malawi at that point. The same with a Malawian company who wants to go to Zimbabwe. It should be easy for them to go to Zimbabwe using leveraging on the knowledge that the 3 hubs would have. And then at the same time, we would also get funding as 3 countries where we can be able to scale operations within the 3 countries. So the idea was to set up like an accelerator program coming from these 3 countries that can it should be easy to hop from one country to another and all that. That was a subset. I know there is AfriLabs. mHub was one of the very early members of AfriLabs before it has become what it has become now. It's a very big of 50 plus countries and over like hundreds and hundreds of hubs all over. But mHub was one of the very early members in there, where we were sharing ideas and resources and be able to scale programs within the continent. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
I think what you're talking about is an important one.
Yeah.
I've always thought about Southern Africa,
Yeah.
and specifically these countries.
Yeah.
Our uniqueness is language.
Yeah.
I think English is a language of instruction within these 3 countries. We have a bit of similarities. I think when you go to Zimbabwe, Zambia, it feels like you're within, right?
Yeah. And Chichewa is even spoken in all those countries.
Yeah.
It's Nyanja in Zambia, and you can also hear it in Zimbabwe. So we have a lot of similarities.
Yeah. No, good idea. And I think that's the thinking that people that are building the ecosystem have to be thinking about. But anyway, let's move on. What are the 3 non-negotiables of a startup must have to true scale in Africa?
Oh, wow.
Non-negotiables. Because, yes, my time for me is still an issue, but I want to hear from you. What you're thinking about the non-negotiables based on what you've seen failing as failure, but also as a success.
Yeah. So first of all, I think a founder, number 1, a relentless founder, you need someone who is obsessed with solving a problem, not just becoming famous or just following the group. So first of all, people have to have passion. They have to understand what they're trying to solve. You're not moving from one problem to another, and then you have all those things. So you need, first of all, a relentless founder. And there's a saying in the tech space or even in the entrepreneurship space that when people are investing in a business, they don't most of the time necessarily invest in the business. They invest in the person. So you have to show passion. You have to show that relentlessness that you're willing to solve a problem. And then number 2 is infrastructure. When we are solving problems, we are not like a lot of times you struggle to build the whole plumbing yourself. Power, we've got power problems, we've got load network problems, we've got internet problems, we've got payment systems problems, and all those things. I know some of these things are being picked off now. I think early in the days we did not have payment gateway systems. Early in the days we did not have options like Starlink and other internet that works and all that. And the road networks was a bit difficult. And when you're doing courier companies, it's a bit difficult to do that. So infrastructure. You need to survive in a place where there is like proper infrastructure.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, which is mostly last for me, is policy and funding. Once you've got a very good idea, infrastructure is there, and then there is alignment between both policy alignment and the like even financing alignment.
Yeah.
Because there is availability of money. I'll give you an example. In Malawi, there is a lot of money that is supporting enterprise development. But is it aligned to the problems that people are solving?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
One.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It is an interesting one.
Yeah.
And every time that kind of discussion comes through,
Yeah.
I fail to speak because I don't want
Yeah.
people to be angry with me.
Yeah.
Because maybe I may not too much, but some of the problems that we're solving here
Yeah.
through some of the accelerators, not all of them,
Yeah.
they're not problems that are what's the right word? They are problems, but they're not
Superficial.
they're not as foundational
Yeah.
as we need to solve
Yeah.
the problems
Yeah.
for this our country.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes is it a need or a want?
Kind
Yeah.
of.
So something like that. But yes, I agree with that. There are some problems, but the issues to me with that is the fundamental alignment of some of these funding programs, not just at accelerator level. I remember in some meeting I asked a question. They were concluding a $70 million project, having run for 5 years, and then they were presenting a report. I listened to the report. I've been involved in that project, and I know what went well and what went wrong and all that. So I asked a question to the presenters. Do you think that you have made a $70 million dent in the economy, like in the ecosystem in Malawi?
That's a good question.
Yeah, can we really see where the $70 million is in the ecosystem? They struggled to respond. They were telling me the activities that they've done and all that. No, you've not understood the question that I'm asking you, because a lot of funding like frameworks that are there are still following like the traditional approach of collaterals,
Yes.
like the bank model. So we're not very flexible enough to the point that some of the enterprises that are being supported even now, they are kind of strangled. They are struggling to breathe.
Oh.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying
Yeah.
that sometimes, okay, let me just break it so down to the point.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of climate change. We have to fix this.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you that the kind of technologies that have been built over time, the ones that have transformed countries throughout the industrial age to even now,
Yeah.
they had to do it at the expense of other things.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen how the climate people are gonna.
No. I know.
So I want to be careful.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I'm coming from Botswana.
Yeah.
Botswana has got probably one of the largest gold deposits in the world, apart from diamonds and all that. And Botswana has put their foot down on mining coal. They're still mining coal.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of talk around climate change and all that. I agree. I'm for the idea.
Yeah.
But then there are some other fundamental things that have been happening in the past. I think that people need to still pay attention to those. Yeah.
So my argument is climate consciousness is a powerful tool which we have to look at.
Yeah.
But this is theory as well.
Yeah.
So don't judge me based on
Yeah.
theory. I'm still loyal to the cause of climate change.
Yeah.
But I've argued in my other spaces that if Africa could have gone all in now, let's innovate in a crazy way,
Yeah.
pay our carbon credits, so we pay,
Mm-hmm.
but we disrupt and rearrange the economy.
Mm-hmm.
We could be far than the consciousness that has arrested ambitions that is a status quo right now.
Yeah.
My problem is that people are limited, are boxed to be politically correct when they're innovating because they want as much as possible to align with a particular resource. And not necessarily that is a big issue.
Yeah.
That's why there was a time every idea was about what? Briquettes.
Yeah, I know.
And you have funded so many briquettes.
Yeah, I know.
But most of them, you find that if I go in the markets right now, who's selling me briquettes? It's South African briquettes.
Yeah.
The local ones, I'm like, what happened?
I hear your theory, yeah.
So I'm going to that kind of way that briquettes are very important right now. It's like gas.
Yeah.
Right? Gas wasn't a thing right now, but now we're queuing for gas. Meaning that the market was there. People that came in and they understood the market right now are cashing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. But there was a time people were forced towards that direction.
Yeah.
And it wasn't worth it.
Yeah. No, it's how it operates even in the civil society space.
Yeah.
I think the early 90s, everyone was talking about human rights and good governance. All the money was going there. And then after a period, we started talking about climate change.
Yeah.
It's there, yes, it's a problem. And then all the money is going there. And of late, everyone's talking AI. And all the money is going into AI. But I agree with your theory to say that Africa, even countries like Malawi, can be able to leapfrog other countries very quickly by trying to find disruptive technologies that can leapfrog everything that has been. You don't need to start building small. You can just
go
big, and then you solve.
And I'll apologize later on. And we can, yes.
No. There are some even environmental cautious disruptions that can happen.
Yeah, that can
without harming the nature, without harming
the nature,
human rights and all those things. So I think it's just a matter of making a decision that which direction are we taking.
And the funny thing, when I'm talking about this, go and see how there was a time when blockchain was a thing, right?
Yeah.
Which is still a thing.
Yeah.
But there was a time it was a thing. Blockchain mining was a thing.
Yeah.
People were complaining about the kind of resources blockchain takes and whatever.
Yeah.
What were the companies in the West doing?
They
were still doing it.
Yeah.
And just pay the what?
Yeah. The carbon credits.
The carbon credits.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, essentially, you find a proxy.
Yeah.
Disrupt, find a proxy and sort it via that proxy.
Yeah.
It's like, if you are boxed like that, I don't feel like that disruption is going to be major as much as we wanted. So that's my...
I hear you. Yeah. But disruptive, I think disruptive thinking is a way to go for countries like Malawi and the rest of the continent, because in the other developed countries, they've literally solved a lot of things already, and we've learned how they failed, how they've done well. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We know where like potholes are, where we can jump the potholes, where failure happens and all that. We need to jump those things and go straight to the winning formula and use it, and then customize it to our context. It's very easy to do that, but how to do it? That's where now the issue is. We're moving around and round and round. But someone told me, you asked about politics. Someone told me that you can only call the shots if you are also financially stable. Even in terms of politics, you need to have your own financial stability. So you need to build that stability even to drive a particular agenda. So countries like Malawi right now, they're not driving their agendas because they don't have the economic stability and all that. And there is a saying that if you are not on the table, then you are on the menu being eaten. So countries like Malawi are on the menu being shared.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
I had a comment about minerals, but let me just leave it there.
Yeah.
One of the things that is important for me is founders. Because I'm a founder myself.
Yeah.
So there's a whole issue around what do you focus? Now, what should African founders focus on? Should they focus on the local scale or regional dominance? I know there are times when, I think I don't know who I spoke to on this platform.
Yeah.
Where we were saying in Malawi, we have like 5.8 million. I don't know whether it's less or more people that are online.
Yeah.
If my business can just get even 1 million, it means I've won, and I don't need to go outside Malawi.
Yeah.
But we have this obsession of building international products because we think that's scale. What is your thought about local versus regional dominance?
I'll be biased because I'm doing something around the African Free Continental Trade Area, AFCFTA.
Yeah.
So literally, I'm working with some guys to help build like a proper marketplace from Malawi that Africa can buy from Malawi and Malawi can sell to Africa in like even digitally and all that. So I've been doing a lot of work around that the last 6 or so months. So
nice.
my response would be a bit biased.
Okay.
I know it's easy for someone to get a market share in Malawi for a particular product and be able to be sustainable even within a particular context and be able to
and win significantly. Yeah.
But there are also things like buying power. I think one of the things that a lot of products struggle with in Malawi is buying power.
Yeah.
As much as the product can be very good in Malawi, but how many people are willing to buy? How many people have got the capacity to buy? And out of that market share, how many can literally stand up and buy your product consistently and all that?
Yeah.
So some of the products that we are developing, like in Malawi, can get more buying power out of Malawi, and people can be able to buy them even much faster, and they build like sustainability at that. So to me, I think the best approach would be test your product in Malawi, build like traction, build what is called product market fit, and you're sure about the product. And then start thinking about expansion, because some of the areas where we're going to, they need similar solutions, but they've not developed such solutions at the moment, based on other like contextual issues that they do have and all that. So let's not shut the door of the regional or even continental completely. Yes, we examples are I think one of the banks here in Malawi started here in Malawi, and they went out. It's then in Mozambique, they are in Botswana, there's in Mauritius, they're in Mauritius, they're in Zimbabwe.
The funny thing is what's the name of the bank?
First Capital.
First Capital Bank.
Yeah.
The funny thing,
that
bank in Malawi is a small bank, but they have in definition.
If
you compare with Sanders, the Nationals, and the like. But they are the ones that are expanding significantly. And they're winning.
And they're doing well.
That's an interesting example.
And now you see, even National Bank bought a bank in Tanzania. A couple. I don't know how far that has gone. But you'd see that there is that room. I think it's also very, very important to see companies originating from somewhere else, and they have a footprint across the continent. I think there's a very, very good examples of Mad Choice. I think Mad Choice having footprint all over Africa, an African country that originated from Africa, and then it's all over Africa, the likes of ShopRite and all those things. So similar models. We did not have, when ShopRite was coming, it doesn't mean that we do not have supermarkets and all that. So there is that. I think the context is similar in most instances. But I think the challenge has always been navigating through the regulatory space in those countries, because those countries have got different regulatory requirements, like limitants of your repatriation of your forex and all those things, and then to get the right capacity in those countries and all that. So I think that's the way to go. I think Spark Systems has been doing that, expanding. I think they just opened in Mozambique now. So there is that. I think there's also a sense of pride. When I go out in Mozambique and I see a Malawian company, I feel proud of being a Malawian, because we're exporting something, and at least I think we're putting a brand somewhere else outside Malawi.
I hear you. I'm also aligning to that. I'm a bit biased as well, because most of the projects that I'm building some are Malawi, but I think about neighboring countries immediately.
Yeah.
Because I want to be local but regional and global strategically.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm also looking at the buying power you're talking about.
Yeah.
Malawians are good at buying security, which is food. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Which is safety.
Shelter and all
shelter and the
things.
rest of these things.
Yeah.
They're not good at buying products that are not within they're all. I think you always look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs for Malawi.
Yeah.
I think the basis is what Malawians buy.
Yeah.
Everything to do with self-actualization and maybe
very few people are
very few people are buying. So if you have a product that speaks to that within the hierarchy of needs, then already Malawi is not the primary audience, despite that it is. But anyway, I have products that are like life or death. So I want to see how it's going to work with the life or death situation in Malawi. And I think it will work.
Yeah.
Because that's what Malawians buy.
Yeah.
Something that is I wanted you to give me a take on is the investor landscape in Africa. You have the Southern Africa venture with the other colleagues. Yeah. But in your honest take, is the investor landscape in Africa really working? Is it working? Is it serving the need of the African market needs, specifically for startups?
There is a mismatch. Not fully. It's not fully working. I still believe there's a mismatch.
Yeah.
There's still a very large base of investors who are looking for Silicon Valley pitch decks from founders. And then there is also it's popular. I think there's been a meme circulating on LinkedIn and other platforms about Mzungu for hire.
Oh yeah,
you should have Mzungu as a service. So you should have a Westerner in your team to be able to attract a certain level of funding or even a certain type of funding and all that. It's a reality. It's happening in other parts of the continent and all that. So that's still a thing that money is going to people that they already know. And some of the African countries, companies that you talk about, African companies are not really African companies because they're founded by others. I have my opinion on that, a strong one, but it's something else. But we still need patient capital. Not just capital like money. Investors need to understand the context where even as little as $50,000 can create more, even 10 times impact than a $5 million in wrong hands.
Yep.
So I've seen people on a very shoestring budget, but they're able to make very, very huge impact in what they're doing, both in business, but also in social impact and all that. So there is need to start thinking about those areas. Yeah. And I think we need more angel investors, local angel investors. I think it's a conversation that we're starting in Malawi at the moment. How can we energize an angel network that people are able to invest in businesses, even as individuals, even corporates and all that? Yeah. In Malawi, we need to unlock the private sector to play a leading role in the ecosystem, which is most the case in other countries. Yes, not just in terms of the actual funding. I think you talked about sandboxes, talk about hackathons, supported by private companies and the uptake of some of these solutions and all those things. So the private sector, if we leave the entrepreneurship and tech ecosystem in the hands of development partners, they've got their own interests, which is good.
You can't blame them because
they
have agendas that speaks to why they are funded.
Yeah,
from
wherever they're funding. Yeah. So we need to have a balanced approach where the private sector is also putting in their skin in the game. And it's funny when I go to private companies, corporates, to pitch with some of these founders. I've gone to a lot of them and pitch with solutions, products and all that. At the end of the day, they offer you a job. we're looking for a developer.
You are the right
person to develop a system for us. But come on, I came with my own company, with my own solution that can solve your problems. I'm already working here, but I wanted to speak as company to company, not necessarily you. They're looking at me as an employee who they want to hire and all that. So the time that private companies realize that we can be able to collaborate with these guys, give them what they deserve. As emerging entrepreneurs, use their products, and eventually incorporate them in our product lines and all that. It's obvious, and it has been like that. Big companies take time to innovate. Innovation from within is always a problem, and it takes time because they run away from. They don't want to tamper with the core business model a lot,
the offer,
and all that. So it's possible for banks, telecom companies, insurance companies, and all these corporate companies to leverage on already existing infrastructure, human capital, even regulatory licenses and certificates from the regulators to bring in these young people to come, sit down, pitch your idea. Let's listen, use the infrastructure that we have. Let's try 10 ideas.
Yeah.
The idea that works, we will be the ones running with it and launching it and deploying it, but recognizing you as the originator of the idea and giving you your right intellectual property, everything that is required for you to be compensated very well to do that. But they will not do that. They would rather poach and then even fail with it at the end because they've not entirely incentivized the originator of the idea.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is puff on this part, but you had spoken earlier on about what an ecosystem is, and you said media, banks, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, academia and
by that time I wanted to comment on the media part.
Yeah.
But now since you're brought in the issue of these experiences that you would get when you go to pitch ideas, eventually you're just employed. People should check. If you check people that are working in international organizations, for instance, most of them they were either founders.
Yeah.
They were building a product. Yeah. And they noted that the space is not paying well, so they have the right skills and they get this kind of roles, right?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to a company in Malawi that acquires a product, like a proper acquisition, like a bank acquires an eKYC platform or a payment gateway or what. That would be interesting.
And I'm going there. Yeah. So my thinking is the ecosystem does not respect innovation, does not respect founders. And I wonder why. In other markets, when someone is a founder, people are afraid of that person because they are thinking about the future. But here, people just look at you from the lens of today, and they don't respect you.
Yeah.
Because you don't call the shots. You don't have money.
Yeah.
Until you have money, then they'll be like, okay, who's thought about you at XYZ?
Yeah.
So my thinking is, there has to be a mindset change shift. A mindset shift towards how people speak about innovation, how people speak about startups, and how people speak about the process of building a business.
Yeah.
It is not respected in Malawi.
Yeah.
And in most of other African countries, it is not respected.
Yeah.
When you're a founder, you're not respected. You're given names and you're not respected. You're not trusted. The bank can't even trust you.
I know, yeah.
So when people are writing about that, the media is writing about you in the papers. It's weird.
I know.
And it's painful. That narrative is stuck in the founder's head. It's like, I'm a nobody. And that also tells what kind of deal you're going to get when you're on the table to negotiate.
Yeah.
If I go here and I've senior people here that are calling the shots, and if they're looking at me from the lens of the day, they can't respect me. If I say, I remember, let me tell you a story. I went to pitch. So a friend of mine told me that some investors have helped and they're looking for new ideas in Malawi. I know right now you're not pushing your product. At that time I was full-time focusing on employment without an idea being pushed. And are you willing to pitch your idea? And I cleaned up my pitch deck and I went there to pitch. How much was I asking for? I was asking for $500,000.
Wow. Yeah.
When I say that,
Yeah.
these two white ladies look at me and they're like, nah, you can't get that money.
Yeah.
And they said so many reasons of why I couldn't get that money. Of course,
They said it?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were honest, they were brutal.
Yeah.
But I think I've said something like this, that
Yeah.
in Malawi, we were able to protect each other's egos.
Yeah.
But some of
They
our
were
friends,
very brutal. And
they
very
can tell
honest,
you, you're not going to get money
Yeah.
with this idea.
Yeah.
Because, and they shared the idea. When they shared the idea, I said, no. But I think when I was presenting, you didn't understand my line of thought.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this direction. I was like, no. Because for them, I think it was an EdTech platform. The argument is that EdTech only works with certification. If you don't have a certification model within the EdTech structure, it means because people just buy certification. It is like people buy the end and not the process. So if you're selling the process, you're failing. So I was like, yeah, I hear you, and that's a good insight.
Yeah.
And I think I'll think about it, how to package that. But let me give you the additional like add-ons that are here that I think will also be value. Oh, they told me that you're not gonna get it. Well, I got in that meeting. It was heated. It didn't end well.
Okay.
Because I was standing on my feet.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those things that sometimes you're like, okay, fine, I hear you, I'm gonna perfect it. Yeah. But for me, I felt like they were not ready to put money. I think they were ready to get a lot with less. Yeah. And it's okay.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But I wasn't willing to also give out that. Yeah. What I'm driving at is the idea of branding of an entrepreneur, the value that person has, is so powerful that it can change how entrepreneurs build and how they access resources. Yeah. If you have no money, if you're going in a meeting and you have problems all over you have gotten money in different places for you just to push your product, and you're saying, this is my last chance. Yeah. You're willing to get in a deal. Yeah. And how many times our founders do that? I've done that. Yeah. Several times.
So you remember before the idea, they see you.
Yeah. You mentioned that.
Yeah,
you mentioned that people do business with people.
You.
Not necessarily the actual business.
Yeah. So first of all, they have to get acquainted with you. So I've seen people pitching and then they are not leading to the ideas and all that when they're talking about, they've not even invested in themselves how to eloquently speak about what they're talking about. So you can have a very brilliant idea. I've seen people say, this idea is very good and it's very viable, but it's in the wrong hands. The person is not the one to drive it and all that. That guy needs an administrator to run him. It needs a marketer to market what they're doing and all that. Yeah. So it's another thing with us as people running startups. How do we present ourselves out there? How do we brand ourselves out there? Not necessarily to sell snake oil, but literally just to demonstrate capacity, passion, authenticity, and even knowledge of what you're doing. And I think there are other players who would take advantage on that naivety of founders and then give you a less deal because you're not really a person to deliver that. I'll give you an example. I think there was a startup that I was supporting 2018, 2019. They got an equity investor. Yeah. So the investor was putting in about 40%, and then the owner was remaining with 60%. And they had an idea that they will buy back 60. Okay. They will buy back after a year. So we did the initial evaluation at first, and then we made sure that they had the 60-40 and all that. But a year later, when they started selling back the shares to like the business now to him to start buying back. Yeah. The first year, it was supposed to be going on for a number of years. Yeah. So the first year, these guys came with a very big valuation of the company, to the point that even the founder of the company was not able to buy his own company. It's like,
Yeah,
is this my company? Is it valuable this much, my company? Because these guys are like, okay, we've put in our time, we've put in our effort, we've put in like this, but my company has not moved to that, like the way you're putting it and all that. So sometimes it's how clever you are, how you present yourself, and how you carry yourself in some of these meetings and all that. So there is that. And then I think there is also how we are building the ecosystem.
Yeah.
To me, I think the question is always, who is building the ecosystem in Malawi?
Yeah.
Is it self-built? Is it running on its own, the ecosystem of entrepreneurship? Are we intentional? And if we were intentional, who is running it? Who is the champion of the ecosystem in Malawi? Who is making sure that these startups move from this level to this level? This policy, there is this policy this year, there's this funding here, there's this way. Is it just running automatically without
on autopilot?
And a hand? Because they are countries that have got very systematic ways of running ecosystems and knowing that we want, with the measurable metrics, to say that by the end of the next 10 years, we should have this many companies operating in this world. We should have many products, digital products like this. We should have things. It should be a quantifiable like milestone that someone can be able to follow through. But is it happening in our ecosystem?
No.
Or the Lord is our shepherd, everything just goes as it goes?
The Lord is our shepherd.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect you, because you think about these things from that lens.
Yeah.
It's a lens of knowing that no matter how much money you have, you cannot fix an ecosystem.
No.
Because an ecosystem is beyond one person.
No, it's not one person. Yeah.
So I know sometimes funders and donors, they're limited in thinking. They think their money will fix the ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's where we miss it. But anyway, let's move quickly. I know you're checking your phone. Yeah. You were supposed to be traveling right now.
Yeah.
You're so passionate about building platforms, and you have been building the TEDx Braila platform. I wouldn't close this without talking about it. I want you to speak to the value of these ecosystem events.
Yeah.
But also speaking on the value of partnership with these ecosystem events and why they're important. Someone told me, I remember I was talking to someone in Kenya, and I was like, okay, fine, there's this opportunity. How is Kenya like? It's like, McDonald, if you are thinking about coming to Kenya, come.
Yeah.
Because the way I know you, Kenya will be a good space for you, because there are events every day.
Yeah.
The events that fits your kind of thinking, and it means you can be in a builder mode every day.
Yeah.
You used to do a lot of those activities a while ago.
Yes.
But they are less. So talk to me about TEDx, because I felt like I came to the recent one of this year, and I saw that spirit as well of bringing people together, which is a powerful thing, which we're missing now.
Yeah. So we need platforms. I think as an ecosystem, events and platforms are a very, very important aspect of building the ecosystem. People need to know who is doing what, how are they doing it, and where are they doing it, what impact are they making. So I took off TEDx Boira in 2023. So TEDx started, I think, in Malawi. The first TEDx event happened around 2013 or 2012, around that. It was called TEDx Lilongwe. So I was privileged to volunteer at that. And when I saw people running it, it was mostly expatriates then. I was very passionate about it. I was like, this is it. An American like platform, big names. A lot of people have been quoting TED videos for a long time. I was like, I want to be part of this. And then when that team went, I found out how to do it. And I was privileged to be given a license in 2023. And I did the first, built a team together. It's voluntary. We raised money and then did the event at that time. And this time around, we tried it again, and it worked. We raised money, and we had about 12 or 13 powerful speakers talking about ideas that they've been running in Malawi in a lot of areas: mental health, education, technology. I think there was agriculture, data, AI. There are a lot of things that people are doing. And when you sit down and listen to those stories, you see that people are doing real stuff, a lot of stuff in Malawi. And they are very passionate about them, and they are willing to share to the rest of the world. So my idea is to contribute towards knowledge, and then people should be able to talk about stuff and they argue over some of these ideas that they've put forward, and probably even contribute a lot more in terms of debates and even counter arguments around those things that these guys put up on TEDx Baida. God willing, I'll continue with TEDx Baida, but the essence of events is to bring people together. So I think what I see less now is more. So when I was at mHub, we'll do brown bag lunches, demo days, we'll do birthdays for people, we'll do a lot of stuff that was hackathons, like exciting stuff that brought people together. You just don't want to create a space that people just meet and discuss.
Yeah, you want to have an agenda.
Yeah, centered around something that you are all passionate about. So I still feel like we should have more of these pitch nights, and then I think a lot more conversations going on. It's going less and less and less, and then eventually everyone builds in their own corners, small corners, and all that. The idea is that entrepreneurship sometimes is a lonely journey, and people feel lonely. They face a lot of challenges. They're struggling with this thing, so they need to air out some of these things. They need to learn also how other people are doing, and it's not just to raise money or just to raise a particular topic and all that, but sometimes it's just to have fun and move around and all that. So I'm a bit less on those these days, but I think there are a lot of players these days that are in the space and are doing things. Yeah.
But you have done your part, and you should continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm on a mission. I'll tell you another day.
We'll talk about it because your story is almost right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll talk about it because I also think we want to use this space for something like that.
Yeah.
So I would want people to come here and do a bit of a pitch, do a bit of just product explainers.
Yeah.
So we're going to start some of those things. I think we need that.
Yeah.
For people that are building. We don't always have to do it when there's a bit of a resource.
Yeah.
Even when there's an opportunity for exposing the opportunities that are there.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Cool. Let's close it, man. If you had to design an ecosystem blueprint for Africa's unicorn, what would you prioritize?
Oh, wow.
As we're wrapping up, we haven't discussed a lot. I know with you we could do like so many hours, but I want you to travel as well properly. But I want you to give me what an ecosystem blueprint for Africa's unicorn would look like if you were to design it.
So first of all, I want us to start thinking about digital public infrastructure. Yeah. So like proper digital identities, payment systems that work, data systems that every startup can build on. It should be easy for a startup to build on top of shared infrastructure.
Yes.
That is already there, especially the soft infrastructure. Right now, if you want to build something, you have to build the whole plumbing yourself. But if you build on shared infrastructure, like ecosystems should start thinking about basic level infrastructure that everyone else can build on top of that.
Yeah.
And then like proper funding that works. Like that understands African context, understand the time frames, understand failure, that failure is part of the problem, understand the problems that people are solving, and all that. And they're not really restricted to the banking model.
Yeah.
I don't really like that every funding is treated like a loan in Malawi, like collateral, you have to have physical assets and all those things. You can do equity, you can do a lot of shared like even different approaches. Even sometimes you mix together different frameworks and come up with a different approach to funding and all that. So people should be able to experiment in those things. Banks, different VCs and players and all those things should be able to do that. Thirdly, talent. Talent is very, very important. The universities, colleges, and the other like academic institutions should be able to bring out talents into teams mostly, to work in collaborations, not just focus on bringing out graduates. A lot of challenges that we're facing with startups right now is people are not collaborating. You are an expert in computer science, you want to build a banking system. You're not working with any economist, you're not working with any marketer, you're not working with any... so people just sit in their rooms, Google a problem, Google a solution, start developing it without even talking to anyone or even understanding. And then they cannot even build teams around that. So people need to start thinking about like talent and all that. I know you asked about like a digital, like a proper footprint, the blueprint. The last part for me is corporate governance. A lot of startups do shortcuts when it comes to corporate governance. The time that I spent at mHub, I made sure that we've got the right policies in place, all the financial policies, procurement policies, like boards, like board should sit up and board has meetings and everything, like the right corporate governance that every year that I was CEO at mHub, we were audited. And would come out very clear in terms of audit and all that. People need that structure that you put together to make sure that you comply with taxes, you comply with pensions, you comply with payees, you comply with everything, regulatory everything and all that. You do that, and then people will treat you very, very seriously, and they'll be able to give you like even their finances and all that. Otherwise, don't just sit on the idea because people just think that my idea is strong and my idea can bypass all the corporate governance issues and all those things. And so sometimes people just pass because they've got good structures and policies around, and what they're pushing is average.
Yeah. And most of the people that get resources through acceleration and everything is because they just order it, but if you look at it, things are not essentially the idea is it's average. Okay, thank you so much for that. Blueprint is very important, and corporate governance is a path to think about if you want to build something. Anyway, we'll finish here. I want you to finish a sentence for me. So it starts with the future of African startup is. So you finish. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, go. The future of African startup is. I want you to finish.
It's a lot of things. You're asking me a lot of things. It's not unicorns. But for me, I think the future of African startups is talent, tenacity, funding. And I believe that a young man sitting in rural Kenya, a young man sitting in rural Sanje can be able to solve Africa's toughest problems without even leaving their city. That's why I've camped in Rumpi now, and I'm working on something very I think 400 plus kilometers away from Lilongwe. That's where I'm operating these days.
Wow.
Working with rural young people in exporting talent. A young person is able to work for a big tech company without leaving their homes, the city,
which is power.
Yeah. So that, to me, I think that's the future. If we can tap into the young population, their capacities, the skills, we can be able to be a big leader even in the digital space.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vincent, for coming through. Fact is, you're the guru of ecosystem development. You can be humble about it.
Debatable, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming through. I know you were traveling, but I appreciate for making time to come through. Just have this conversation with you. Like a guest that I would say, okay, fine, until next time. No, you have to be coming back.
Yeah, I'll come back. Yeah.
So we have to have like a series of discussions of why we have to build ecosystem, but also how we have to inspire the new thinking within the African ecosystem of startups and stuff, and we have to build the next generation of companies that are coming from Africa, but also even just human resource that can serve purposes in different places. And thank you so much for the work that you have done for Malawi.
Thank you for the platform, and thank you for the support. I will rest if Malawi produces its own unicorn.
Yes.
And there is one digital product that every Malawian wakes up and uses developed by a Malawian. Yes. That's when I will rest and take a break.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Till next time, this is Her Africa podcast. Go on herafrica.net to be part of the waiting list. The platform is going to be up very soon. We have a lot of activities happening with our products. So how many products do we have? We have 4. So we have Doctors Available. It's a platform focusing on doctors. It's coming out very soon. We have Maganyu. It's about handyman. So as a handyman, you can sign up, do gigs, get paid properly, and so forth. But we also have Skills Update, my own product.
Wow. I remember that.
Back. Yeah. It's coming back. Yeah. And that one is focusing on skills and focusing on upskilling. We focus on skills that will help you to earn only.
Yeah.
Not skills that will help you to just have like a title, but skills that will help you to start earning immediately, because that's the gap that we want to fix. So it's Her Africa. Yes, you can go and sign up. So Her Africa focuses on what he is doing, which is outsourcing talent.
Yeah.
But we go a bit beyond that in a different way. So all these platforms are not up. Some are up. So go check it out. I think we'll be doing some of the ads starting from this week on our socials, so you can see whatever that we're building, and go in early. We'll be giving out people like a free month to access some of our products. So it's going to be an exciting one. We're trying to build, and we believe we're going to build with Africa.
Yeah. That's good.
Great. So until next time, we are out.